there are typically two main spaces which every person has, which is your home, which is the first place, the work, which is the second place, but we are at our best as people and as communities when we have an additional place we can call our own, that third place. Right, welcome to the CrossFit by Design podcast. It's good to be back. How are you?
Yeah, good, Tom. How are you?
Very good, very good. So today, wanted to do something a little bit different. I read a great article on the CrossFit Journal, which is CrossFit HQ's sort of official publication that they do. And there was a great article on how the CrossFit box is such a key part of your members' life, and they call it the third place. And so I thought it would be cool if we kind of read some excerpts from that article today, and if you wanted to give us your thoughts based on how you see that apply to CrossFit by Design and just sort of CrossFit in life in general as you see it. So
yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome idea.
So this is directly from the article, and it says, for hundreds of years, places like bookstores, cafes, barbershops, and pubs served as informal public gathering spaces. Without requirements for membership or formal organisation, people gathered together for companionship, to talk about their concerns and ideas, and to feel like they belonged. And some sociologists call these spontaneous places, spontaneous communities, third places. And they argue that these third places are such an important part of our lives. And it goes on to say that there are typically two main spaces which every person has, which is your home, which is the first place, the work, which is the second place, but we are at our best as people and as communities when we have an additional place we can call our own, that third place. And I thought that was really, really true, because when we talk about community in CrossFit, it's difficult to put your finger on exactly what that means. So do you see that happening from your experience as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a bit of an evolution of the third place. Like I read this before, I didn't catch the end of it, so maybe it does go over it, that like in more specific detail of cafes, barbershops and things like that. Like it used to be that the more common one was the bar.
Yeah.
You go get some beers, and then it was like the coffee shop, and now it's the gym. And then there's many more, like the article says. But yeah, I 100% agree with the opening in that you feel like you can really be yourself in that third place. Like I picture Norm from Cheers. That Norm is just like says what he means, man. Like calls a spade kind of thing. Very much himself there. Not that everyone's trapped in their work or anything like that, but you're not always as free to be who you want to be in the workplace as what you can be in your third place, supported by the community of the third place.
That's a good point, because the article also says at home or work, attendance is required and roles and responsibilities are rigid. But in a third place, people expand their identities beyond those expectations and associate with their so-called neighbours, people they're hanging out with, associate with their neighbours in a different way. This informal connection creates people who care about and engage with their community and each other, and who spend time together casually for the pure pleasure of it.
Yeah, well, so that's worded heaps better than what I just said.
That's why I read it.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. I don't disagree with it. Do you? Like, I mean, you've seen it firsthand. People definitely are themselves.
Yeah.
And initially, maybe not so much, but that's in any social situation.
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, because the article says this, there's sort of a diminishing amount of those locations that are existing in our community. There's less and less of those places. I was thinking about what you said before. You got the bar and the cafe. Even now, sure, I might go get a coffee with a friend, but very rarely is there a place where you can go and it's like just an open public marketplace where you don't really know who's going to be there. You just go on there to hang out and share your sort of common interests with people. Even now, when we go to hairdresser, restaurant, coffee shop, we're still quite isolated, and it seems that more and more of the community that we have is becoming more and more isolated and sort of just independent. You'll go down to whatever store, the grocery store, and you'll do that thing on your own, then you'll come home. And so there seems to be less and less of just those open public catch-up third places.
Yeah, like it's not as personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Woolies isn't as personal as your local grocer used to be, kind of thing. Is that
Exactly,
what I mean?
exactly, yeah. And, it's interesting. This is something that I really thought that the article made a very good point on. It says social media is sometimes touted as a new kind of third place, but does not serve the same function. Online interactions connect people globally as never before, but break the involvement with the ultra-local streets, neighbourhoods, towns, and cities. And the connections made via social media do not expose us to the same sort of diversity as third places. Online communities are self-selecting, allowing us to limit our involvement to subjects that already interest us or people with whom we feel comfortable. And I think that last point, with people whom we feel comfortable, is a very good point, because when you engage with real people in the real world, you've got real ideas, real opinions, real conflicts of interests, and that's kind of where the growth comes from, because you might not really like that person, but you've kind of got to just deal with it and be with them, and you kind of learn.
And let's say, like you sort of mentioned, maybe not getting along with somebody, how can you sort of sniff out your differences if you're online? Like, if you say something I don't agree with, at least if we're face to face, I can, like, there's nothing lost in translation. I can be like, oh, what do you mean by that, Tom? And you can explain yourself, and I can be like, oh, okay, I thought you meant this. Whereas it's all black and white, like you've seen, so many misunderstandings in comment sections, and it's like, oh, I think what they really mean is this, and what they really mean is that, and it's just, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be as healthy as.
Yeah, that's right. You can't get to know the deeper side and the deeper nuances of a person's character online, because they say something you don't like. You just delete or just click away.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah, I don't like that anymore. Click away.
Yeah.
And another part of the article really sums up a little bit about what we were talking before with we've isolated ourselves even though we're in the community. And it says, again and again, we turn away from opportunities to connect with each other, often in the name of efficiency. We choose ATMs over bank tellers. We choose drive-thrus and eating in our cars over restaurants. We choose online donations over volunteering. We choose the self-checkout over the grocery store cashier. We choose elaborate home theatres over movie theatres. We choose ebooks over libraries. We choose a game of Candy Crush over chatting with other people waiting in line. I know several people who do that. And it's so true. I've been to the Congo, and I've seen a culture, when you take that back 100 years, where we don't have the efficiency that this Western culture has. And it's almost like, well, this is what we wanted. This is really this is what we wanted. This is what we've been working and developing and innovating and trying for years and years and years. And now we've got it. And now we're all alone and depressed to some extent. No, it's an over-exaggeration. But when you go to, say, a place like I've been, like the Congo, everything's done in community. Everything is done with someone else. There's nothing independent about anything that anyone does. But here, there's so much aloneness. People might be okay with being alone, but there are so many things which that leads to, which brings us back to the benefit of having CrossFit as a third place.
Yeah. Well, so much growth comes from interacting with other people, so community basically. And that's why we always talk about community in CrossFit, because it's a super important part of your development as a good person. And a lot of it is taken away by everyone trying to seek out efficiency. Efficiency isn't necessarily always the best thing. Like in movement and stuff like that, yep, absolutely, efficient, effective movement. But when it comes to the development of your character and the development of the relationships with the people around you, efficiency is probably the last thing you want. Like it's messy, and that's okay.
Absolutely. And I think going back to the article, it says CrossFit is not just a novel workout. Its boxes offer a new community space, an alternative to the village tavern or the general store, the old bar, with the power to reconnect us to our communities and to each other. In a CrossFit box, neither status nor external responsibilities matter. Politicians and janitors are equal, and even internal CrossFit achievements by elite competitor or a recent on-ramp graduate do not affect members' enjoyment. That leveling quality brings athletes into contact with people they would not encounter in a homework existence. And I think that's a great way of summing up a little bit about what or how the CrossFit community really benefits by injecting it into someone's life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost it's one place where nobody really cares what level you're at. You know, yeah, I don't think I could add to that. So
Yeah.
that's all I will
There's
say.
there's the article lists what it says the characteristics of a third place, and this is from a book by Ray Oldenburg called the Great Good Place, and it just goes through like what makes a great third place. You know, so you've got your home, got your work, and then this third place, and you know it doesn't have to be a CrossFit gym. We're talking about it because this is what we do, but I think it's important if it's not going to be CrossFit, it's important to find what that place is. So I think if I just want to read through this in your mind as you're listening to it, think about some of the places that it kind of describes, and I think the CrossFit gym fits perfectly in this. So third places are neutral ground for the attendees, where everyone feels equally welcome. It acts as a leveler, so external status does not matter. It has conversation as the main activity. Though third places are designed with a specific purpose in mind, CrossFit, conversation makes the experience special. They are accessible and accommodating, with a convenient location and flexible opening hours so people can attend when they are free from other responsibilities, are frequented by regulars who set a positive tone and keep the community lively, have a low profile, a physical space that is welcoming, not formal or intimidating, offer a playful mood with light-hearted interactions, and become a home away from home for the attendees. I can think of a whole bunch of those that apply, I mean, particularly to our gym, which is what I know you as the owner have been building the gym to be like, specifically with some of those attributes.
Yeah, CrossFit by Design's the best. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm going to say that, but that's always the goal for sure. Yeah.
So that was the article, and I thought it's got some real good takeaways for people who are listening.
Find your third place.
Find your third place. If it's not CrossFit, it's got to be somewhere. So, anything else to add?
No, that's great.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Cool. Awesome.
Word.
See you next time.
Bye.